Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the tireless tangler, and you've arrived at day 28 of the 100 Days of Zentangle project for 2020. Thank you all so much for being with me today. We are celebrating something special today. It is Linda Farmer at TanglePatterns.com's 10th Tangleversary, as she's calling it. And I have chosen to do a special thing to wish her a happy day today, and you guys can participate with me if you would like. If not, you don't have to. But our tangle that we're going to be using today is called LIULIU Dashan. That is by Damy Teng. That is her online name. Her name is Mei Hua Teng, and she is in Taiwan. And she has got, I don't even know how many patterns on Tangle Patterns. I know it's more than 30. So check out some of her other ones. This is a very simple little border tangle. So for today's project, I want to wish Linda Farmer at Tangle Patterns a happy 10th anniversary, a Tangleversary as she calls it. And so I thought it might be nice for us to show our appreciation to her by using the number 10 as a string today. And then if you would like, once you finish your tile, you may take a picture and send it to her in an email, wish her a happy day, and thank her for all of the work that goes into keeping Tangle Patterns afloat. So I'm just going to start with a little with my 4 dots and a penciled border like usual. And then for string, I'm going to use a very simple ribbon like this, 2 parallel lines. Then I'm going to attempt to draw a circle or a 0 on here. It'll end up being more ovally. And this is not my best thing with ovals and circles. But luckily, Zentangle has no mistakes, so I can't do it too badly. And I'm just going to make a sort of a ribbon, 2 parallel lines on the 0 as well. And I'm going to try to get them lined up. As I want before I ink it. Normally we don't mind about those things, but I do want my appreciation to show. All right. So I'm going to start by stepping this out for you on the straight section. You're just going to draw 2 parallel lines. In my case, these are going to be straight. Then we're going to make a series of 6 shapes. And the caveat to that is that you want them to be this 6 and not this 6 or this 6 or any other variations of that. You want a nice round orb with the little tail coming off. So you need to practice that a bit. That's what we're going to be doing. She says the number 6, but the number 6 can be formed 1,000 different ways by 1,000 different people. So that's what we're looking for. So what we're going to do is start right in the middle. Let me see if I can zoom on this and manage not to get it out of frame here. Okay. So we're going to start in the middle, and I'm going to make my orb touch both lines as I come around, and I'm trying not to make that too different. Now, as I come for my next one, we're going to start about here, but if you can visualize this coming up like this and start about here, so that you have a nice clean line coming down. Okay. Once again, I'm going to sort of visualize that up to the top. Carefully touching both lines. And I think we're just going to have a partial one here. All right. The next step is easy. Aura or aura, depending on what part of where you're from. I'm just going to make parallel lines that follow this curve, and we're going to fill this space. Take some deep breaths with me if you guys struggle with shaking the way I do, and I do. This takes some breath and some patience and some control. My problem with these is when I get impatient. So breathe deeply, take your time. We're going to draw this tile real time. I know that makes it longer, but I'm really struggling with the format of these. I want us to accomplish a tile together, but I also know that an hour long or more videos are ridiculous lengthwise for most people, especially once the world turns back to normal. But when I speed them up, I miss that personal time with you guys. So you may see different iterations of this, of these videos as we go along. I know that last year the format morphed quite a bit from beginning to end, and I think that's fine. As I find out what's important to you guys, then I try to tailor this time to you. And I've gotten so many comments from y'all that not complaining about the length, but saying that you're staying to the end with me. Thank you, Julianne. Or that you're really enjoying the tangle time every day, the peaceful time. And so I feel like to shortchange that by time-lapsing them isn't really fair, although even I get bored and yawn off sometimes when I try to edit these. And an hour-long video means that if I go through it the 5 or 6 times I like to make sure everything's just so, that's a ridiculous amount of time editing for me. So then mistakes slip in because I only get through it, 2 or 3 times. And anyway, so problematic. This is turning out nicely. This is it. You turn your tile and then you fill in the other way. This is this gives you a sort of a folded feel like the Tangle pattern Shattuck. That is another pattern like Paradox that I struggle with immensely because of the straight lines. And I know that my Paradox video was a mess because I couldn't show you best practices for that. Because for me, I'm not able to perform them appropriately to show you. So that was a little frustrating. Isn't this pretty? I love how simplistic it is. And she has lots and lots of different ways to vary this. One thing you can try is turning it around and going this way, following the curve this way on these and this way down here. So there's lots of different things. One thing she also did was black the second section and just aura 1. So let's see what I decide to come up with for this. That was a little more oval than I meant, but it's going to be perfect. All right, and now do the ribbon line or the aura line on the inside of this. we go. Okay, let's get started. Now in the round, we're going to do the exact same thing and hope that we end up someplace where we can meet up again at the end. Circles are sometimes problematic. So let's just start here in the middle, in about the middle of the river, as I like to say. And make my 6. And go from there. Imagining up. Touching both edges carefully, just like that. I saw Damy draw this on her YouTube channel in her language, which I thought was so interesting. And at the two places where she stopped in the video were exactly, and to explain, were exactly the two places where I was going to stop and explain to you guys, so I found that funny. Okay, and just keep going. The angle on some of these is going to be a little bit different because of the turn, but you can see if you follow the pattern, it's going to work. The more careful you are with these orbs, the more opportunities you will have to do something fun with them. Now, 2 more, I'm assuming. And we'll have to slip this one in short. There. Not too bad. That's what I've got now. I'm gonna change this up a little bit from this other one. I still want my round auras on the bottom, so I think I'm gonna start with that. Deep breath, Cindy. Slow down. Take your time. Whether pushing out or pulling towards you is more comfortable from you, that is a personal choice. The mindset is that if you pull your strokes towards you, that you have more control over your pen stroke. And for most people, that is true. For me, it is exactly the opposite, depending on the situation. In these R-aligned situations, I have much more pen control if I push out. So, of course, that is up to you. But that's one of the things that I struggled with when I was learning to draw, particularly Tangle, was that I didn't fit a lot of the best practices. And see, the best practice again is to pull towards you, but that stroke coming down for some reason is really difficult for my hand to make. And I have much more consistent, pretty lines if I push out. And some days it's just that way. Some days it doesn't matter, and some days I pull in. And it can change from tangle to tangle. So I think what I'm trying to share with you is go with your flow. Just because one person tells you it has to be done a certain way, it doesn't. Yes, there are best practices, but people break best practices all the time. And one of the things I think is so beautiful about tangling is that they want you to enjoy the process. They want it to be relaxing. And if you are so worried about following best practice rules and not listening to your hand and your muscles and your body, then you're doing yourself a disservice. So I am not one of those preachy people that has to have things pure and just black and white and all of that. If you want color in your art, I say put color in there. And some of y'all are having a little too much fun with your gel pens and glitter pens. Oh my goodness. I saw some really pretty art from what we've been doing using glitter pens from some of you guys. Go for it. Have fun. And someone also asked me if they cared about that kind of thing on Mosaic, on the Zentangle Mosaic app, and I'll tell you, they don't. There is everything from furniture to rocks on there. So make Zentangle your own and share it on there. They will love to see it. All right, the question is, do I want to do something different here? And I think that I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with me it's always orbs, line weight, and rounding, or something else. So for auras, whoops. I'm going to draw a big orb in each of these squares, and then black around it. And try not to make too big a mess, Cindy. Okay, well, something like that. Okay, so I'm just going to do that on each one. And I'm going to take care as I come around with that orb not to overstep the lines there. Take my time. Maybe if I turn this way, I'd be able to see that a little bit better. Yes, that's much better. When in doubt, turn your tile. Take time to enjoy your blacking, breathe. If you're going to black, chill out. Try to enjoy the process. Remember that anything worth doing is worth practicing and doing well. So one of the things that it requires to be good at this is time and patience. So give yourself a mental breath right now. And really stop and enjoy what you're doing. The feel of the stroke of the pen on the paper, whatever kind of paper you're using. You know, when I started, I tangled on a really strict budget. I still have a budget, but you guys, through your generosity, have really kept me supplied with things lately, and I want you to know I appreciate it. But remember, I did this on a budget, a real budget, and so I started with the cheap Peter Popper tiles that they have on Amazon for like $5 for 75 of those. There is nothing wrong with those. In fact, they make great practice tiles. They do not do well with wet media of any kind, and there is almost no tooth on the paper on those. So it's almost like they just have a thin white layer stuck on top. So I don't know anything about paper, so I'm just talking. But if you decide to use those, that is fine. It was a long time before I could wrap my mind around the reason that the supplies for tangling can be so expensive. And again, they don't have to be, and there are always low budget accommodations for that, like hot press watercolor paper. Even though that isn't cheap, you can still do, you know, tiles cheaper that way than other ways. I have started, though, over the last several years to go ahead and purchase actual Zentangle tiles for this reason. And they say that the reason for the tiles is this, that they want for you to respect your tools, to know that you are using fine materials, because it allows you to have more respect for yourself and your art if you have fine materials. And I believe that that is absolutely true. I didn't always see the point of, you know, paying a lot more for a lot less. But I will say this, these tiles, the Zentangle tiles, are like no other paper you will ever use. They take so much media. There are so many different things you can do with them. And the size is because they want something that you can do in 15 or 20 minutes while you're waiting in line or commuting or at the doctor's office or whatever it is. That's what they were looking for, something that was portable. And so there's one thing I found was there are a lot of reasons behind the choices that they made, and I find that beautiful, because I am finding the more into it I am, the more right that they are correct in what they have done. I'm just going to redefine my line here because I have stray lines and it drives me nuts. I'm going to try to be careful. I just think Linda would be thrilled if she got some of these. And as a blogger myself that has a very inactive blog right now, I know what work goes into that. And to be on top of it and have daily stuff is just, you know. Now, I really like this. I'm trying to decide if I want to add aura lines outside here to sort of finish it up, or if I want to add any lines around this. But I'm kind of liking it the way that it is. Very simple and very, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Cindy. Draw straight. I think darkening these lines might be enough. If once again I cannot make a mess. I really like this. This is cute. Okay, I'm going to shade this. And I'm going to put my chop down here in the corner before I go off. Give a little heart for Linda today. Okay, so shading, easy peasy. There's really a couple of things you can do here, just a few, a couple, two. Right here where these lines come together, just place on one side. And maybe a little bit down under here. And then I think maybe I'll put some along the edge down here and on the edge up there. Let's see how that looks. I don't think I want to put any on the orbs because I'm going to shade them differently. But what a lovely little border pattern this is. On the orbs, I'm just going to put a little crescent moon towards one edge of pencil. Again, I'm not going to get into how to shade these because I am not going to put the work into it. I just don't want to. I find sometimes that too much thought on the shading just really inhibits my enjoyment. So now the question is, am I going to keep it in the same place going all the way around? Oh, Cindy. Be a good girl. Okay, so I'm going to try to be a good girl and keep these all on the same side. Which I think worked out okay. And I will probably do the same thing to the smaller orbs I left here. Trying to keep the direction the same on all of them. I have my monster tortillon or paper stump today. I like this because it gives me a really smooth way to attack a larger area. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Probably. Let's see. Who else did I read comments? Thank you guys so much for all of the comments and well wishes on the surgery. I got into comments yesterday and started answering some. I'm sorry I'm so far behind on those. Gotten a couple more DMs from you guys. That is a cool thing because I can actually leave you voice or video messages in return for your direct messages on Instagram. So if you want to try that out, I would be happy to play with that with you. I'm really far behind getting mine posted on there too. I need to find some extra time in my day for that. Alright. I skipped part of my shading here. I got all orby. Alright. Now, one more thing. Since I have blacked part of this, I think what I'm going to do for shading on these is to do both sides. Oops, I'm using my wrong pencil. I have a lot of graphite down. This is an F pencil, and so it is harder and has less graphite in it than the regular school pencils, which are 2B. So I like to use the F because it helps to keep me from getting in too much trouble with shading. It doesn't keep me out of trouble, but it does alleviate a lot of it. So what I'm going to make is these little conicals looking things. By shading both sides, I will be sort of suggesting that. I hope that's what I'm suggesting. But you know what? If something else comes out, that is okay. No mistakes in Zentangle. You guys make your art as you want it to be. And while you're doing that, remember I am a flawed individual and I get stuff wrong sometimes. So go easy on me. Had physical therapy today. I'm doing pretty good. Still having a lot of pain, but I will get through it. No doubt. No doubt. I think I forgot to blend these. See what we end up with. This is too big. Yeah, perfect. Blend these out. I might come back around here with that school pencil. I like that darker look, but again, that's me. Not everybody is going to like to shade as darkly as me, as I am influenced by my teacher, and this is quite frankly what I like. And frequently after I'm done with these videos, I go back in and make 2 or 3 more pencil runs and trying to find something that will show up in the light that we've got. And I still want to look into that sewing machine light. Or that sewing light. That just makes so much sense that quilters would have the same issues. Alright. So I'm just taking my gigantic eraser here. Merry Christmas. And catching any graphite that's someplace where it shouldn't be. And just lifting that out. Just a touch-up type of a thing. Alright. Now, this is what I have. You guys' patience while I try to get my stuff sorted. And I'll be back with you tomorrow for day... What is today? The 28th day? So tomorrow will be day 29. That's crazy. Crazy, I say. Crazy. Alright. I'll see you tomorrow.